Why your good habits are making you poor. You wake up at 6 a.m., you work out, you journal, you meal prep on Sundays. You're in bed by 10 p.m. By every measure, you're doing everything right. And yet, your bank account looks the same as it did 2 years ago. Here's the thing most people never figure out. The problem isn't your habits. Your habits might actually be great. The problem is what those habits are aimed at. Because there's a massive difference between habits that keep your life running smoothly and habits that actually build something. And if you don't know the difference, you can be the most disciplined person in the room and still end up broke. In the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly why that happens and what to do instead. Think about a treadmill. You can run hard on it. You can run fast. You can run for an hour. And when you step off, you're exactly where you started. That's not a knock on cardio, but it's a perfect picture of what most people's productive habits actually look like. Most of us were taught that working hard equals getting ahead. And that's true, but only if you're working hard at the right thing. Work hard at the wrong thing, and discipline doesn't help you. It just means you're stuck in a faster, more organized way. Here's the split you need to understand. There are two kinds of habits. The first kind are busy habits. These keep your day running. Waking up early, exercising, meal prepping, organizing your space, answering emails, planning your week. All good things, none of them bad. But notice what they have in common. The moment you stop doing them, the benefit stops too. You skip a week of meal prep, you're back to takeout. You stop organizing, the clutter comes back. These habits maintain your life. They don't grow it. The second kind are building habits. These put something back in your pocket. Money, skills, or systems that keep working, even when you're not. Every time you do one, you're a little further ahead than you were yesterday. Robert Kiyosaki talks about this in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and his core point isn't about cutting lattes or tracking every dollar. It's about where your energy goes. Are you spending your time building assets, things that pay you back, or are you just keeping the lights on? Most people, without realizing it, are almost entirely in the keeping the lights on camp. And they wonder why nothing changes. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Waking up at 5 a.m. to go to a job that doesn't grow your wealth isn't a building habit. It's just a more disciplined version of the same trap. The early start doesn't matter if the destination is the same. Picture two people with identical morning routines. Same alarm time, same workout, same coffee. One spends their extra hour scrolling the news and getting ready for the day. The other spends it building something, writing content, learning a skill they can sell, setting up a small income stream. Same habit, same amount of discipline. Completely different life trajectory. The only thing that separates them is what they're pointing their time at. So the question isn't whether you're disciplined. It's whether your discipline is aimed at something that grows. So what makes a habit a building habit? There's one quality that separates it from everything else. It grows over time. Each time you do it, the next one is worth more. The effort compounds. James Clear talks about this in Atomic Habits. He says the real question isn't what do I want to do, it's who am I becoming? And someone who's becoming wealthier thinks about their time in a specific way. They're not just asking, did I do something productive today? They're asking, did I do something today that makes tomorrow better? Building habits tend to fall into three buckets. The first is money habits, things like automating your savings or tracking your net worth. Not exciting, but they work quietly in the background and grow without you having to think about them much. The second is skill habits, spending time learning things that make you worth more. A skill you build this month can pay you back for years. The third is system habits, creating content, building tools, or developing relationships that start to work even when you're not actively pushing them. A video you make today can get views 2 years from now. A relationship you invest in now might open a door you haven't even imagined yet. But here's the trap that catches a lot of smart, motivated people. Even good learning habits can be a waste if nothing ever comes from them. Reading 30 books a year feels incredibly productive. Listening to podcasts on every commute feels like growth. And it can be, but only if you actually do something with what you're learning. Otherwise, it's just expensive entertainment dressed up as self-improvement. Think about someone who spent 2 years nailing their morning routine, meditation, cold showers, journaling, the works. But financially, nothing moved either. The moment they carved out just 1 hour to learn a skill they could actually sell, things started to shift. Not because the routine was bad. Because for the first time, part of their day was aimed at building something real. That's the whole reframe here. It's not about doing more. It's about making sure at least some of what you do is actually building something. So knowing this is useful. But here's where most people get stuck. They see the difference between busy habits and building habits, they nod along, and then they go back to their exact same routine. Because changing what you do is easy to understand and hard to actually do. So let's make it concrete. Start with a simple audit. Look at what fills your productive hours right now. Ask one honest question about each thing. Is this building something, or is it just keeping my life the same? Not is this good? Not is this healthy? Just, does this move the needle on my money, my skills, or something that could work without me? Most people, when they do this honestly, find that about 80% of their so-called productive time is maintenance. Exercise, planning, organizing, keeping up with things. Maybe 20%, if that is actual building. And here's the thing, you don't need to flip that ratio completely. You just need to shift it a little. Even moving from 20% to 30% building habits changes the trajectory of your life over a year or two. The next step is picking one building habit and protecting it like nothing can touch it. Just one, not five, not a whole new routine. One thing that directly grows your money, your skills, or a system that pays you back. Could be 1 hour a week learning something you can sell. Could be setting up an automatic transfer every payday. Could be consistently creating something, a post, a video, a project that builds over time. The specific thing matters less than the fact that it's genuinely building something and that you protect the time for it. Once that's locked in, you can start stacking. This is exactly what Atomic Habits teaches. Attach a new habit to something you already do. But here, every layer should either make you money, build a skill, or grow a system. You're not just building habits for the sake of habits. You're building a portfolio of things that compound. Now your brain is going to push back on this hard. Because your identity right now might be wrapped up in being the disciplined one or the person with the great routine. And that identity feels good. Shifting even part of that toward I'm someone who builds wealth feels weird at first. Maybe even uncomfortable. That discomfort is actually a good sign. It means the identity is changing. The most common mistake here is confusing learning about building wealth with actually building it. Watching finance videos counts for nothing until you do something. Reading the book doesn't move the needle until you apply one thing from it. The moment you take one real action, the transfer, the post, the first client, the first skill learned and used, that's when the habit becomes a building habit, not before. So here's where to start. Pick 1 hour this week. Just one. Use it for something that could pay you back. Set up the automatic transfer. Write the first thing. Learn the one skill. Start the one thing you've been meaning to start. That 1 hour is the difference between a routine that maintains your life and one that builds it. Your habits aren't the problem. Your target is. The goal isn't to have a better routine. It's to make sure part of your routine is actually building something that grows. So look at your top 3 productive habits today and ask honestly, are they growing your life or just maintaining it? And if you want to go deeper on why your brain defaults to comfort over growth in the first place, the video on The Strangest Secret covers exactly that. Check it out next.